There are many ways to install Python in your computer, but which one actually is the correct way? So let's look at a few and find out for ourselves. Here we have a simple Python script of 2 lines, but I do not believe that I do have any Python installed. In this VS Code, you do install a Python extension, but this is not actually Python. Let's try installing it and let's see for ourselves. As you can see, it's installed, and it is telling me to select an interpreter which is not exactly there in our computer. Do note that this is a very fresh installation of Windows and doesn't actually have any any programming kits. So let's try the first way of installing, first and the most basic way to install Python. So if you click on here, the VS Code prompt, it will basically take you to Microsoft Store where you can get Python from. So let's try that. So let's click on get, and I believe it's starting to download. All right, so it is done. So I do not see any other options to install. I think it's auto installed it, but let's try to search it on our search bar. Let's type in Python, and as you can see, there is a Python uh, prompt here. So if I give it a very basic command, it will just spit out the result, and I believe we can also find it in our VS Code now, as you can see here that it's from the Microsoft Store and it's installed in our app data and in our Windows app. So we can select this interpreter and try to run it, and as you can see, the answer is still 4 because the output of this script is 4. So this is actually the first way and the most basic way you can install Python. So let's try another way. You can go to Google and type in download Python. You go to the official python.org website and download the latest or any other version that you want of Python. I'm just gonna, for demonstration purposes, just download the latest version, wait for it to download, find it in our downloads, and run as administrator. Okay, so now we do have another Python being installed. So this is the default location where the Python will be installed. You can also obviously customize it, but I prefer leaving my programming toolkits in my main drive, which is my C. So let's wait for it to install. Okay, so I believe we do have 2 different Python installed in our computer right now. Let's try to find it using our search bar in our Windows. So as you can see, there are a lot of Python ID idles, and here's one, here's another. So let's try again in our VS Code. Let's click here to select a Python interpreter, and it will show you the list, but as you can see, there's only one. Let's try to refresh and find the other one. Okay, it's not showing the other one. What I'm trying to say here is that the Python installed using from the python.org and from the Microsoft Store are basically the same, but they are actually installed in 2 different places. Let's try to cut VS Code and try to open it again. Let's restart it, and let's try and search for, yes, as you can see, the Python version is the same. This is 3.11.4. And one is from the Microsoft Store and another is from the actual python.org. Do keep in mind that both of these Python versions are, as the Python versions are the same, the Python capabilities and everything else is the same. It's just installed in 2 different locations in our machine. So this is the second way of installing Python. But now what I'm going to show you is actually the proper way where most developers and Python programmers actually use. Which is using Conda package manager. So let's type Conda download. There are 2 types of Conda environments. One is called the Anaconda, and another is called the Miniconda. I prefer using Miniconda. So let's go to the Miniconda website, and here's the Miniconda, and I've just showed you the Anaconda one. The Anaconda is actually a bit bigger because it has much more functionalities and different applications like Jupyter and like Spider, those kind of things. But I don't actually need those because like Jupyter VS Code actually provides them if you like actually need them. So you don't actually have to install the Anaconda application. Where, however, you do need the Miniconda, which is like the smaller version of the Anaconda prompt, and which actually is like less resourceful, like it takes less resources from the machine. And as I've worked with like smaller machines like Raspberry Pi, which has a limited resources, Miniconda is the perfect way to go, and it's very easy to install as well. So let's download this one. It's for Windows. Let's open it up here. Okay, let's double click, and as you can see, I'm just installing. It's for just me, and it's going to save in my username, and it's just miniconda 3. And I am going to add this to my path environment so that it can my command prompt can actually get the Conda commands out there, because I needed to do it anyways. So let's see if it works. If not, we have to add it manually to our Windows path environments. So let's wait for it to install. Okay, now it's completed. Okay, I do not need any of this, so the Conda environment is set up. Okay, let's try to find it in our VS Code again. Yes, as you can see here, we can find the miniconda prompt here. This is the third installation of Python, and now I am going to show you why do we prefer to use miniconda over the normal installations of Python. So the miniconda actually allows the reason that we use miniconda is because of the conda commands. Let me just show you for a better demonstration. To give you a bit of context, Windows have two different terminals. One is the command prompt, another is the PowerShell. You can just type here, you will get the PowerShell, and another is the command prompt. So let's try to open up the command prompt from here. So yeah, as you can see, here's the the basic command prompt. Let's type in conda. So if you're getting this, that means that the conda environment has been added to your path. Like the conda command has been added to your path environment, so you're not getting any red errors or something. So if I write conda activate base, base. So yeah, as you can see, this base command says that a base environment of the conda is activated. So to make you understand what that is, Anaconda or Miniconda allows us to work with different Python environments. So different projects of Python, like if you are doing different projects of Python, they will require different Python packages for you to work with, and different versions of the packages are sometimes necessary. So what you can do is open up different Python environments for each of the projects that you're working on, and have a separate Python environment, separate Python interpreters for each project, all in all that you can access using the conda command. So let me give you an example. So here this is let me cut it and start from the beginning. Here is that we will go here and start a new terminal. You'll see that CMD, meaning the terminal that is opened, is actually the command prompt of Windows. If you do not see that, if you try to open a new terminal and PowerShell or something, just go here, select the default profile, and from here you can select all of the different terminals that you have, or the scripts that you have for the Windows system that you have. So I am going to select the command prompt, and let's try it again. New terminal, as you can see, it automatically activates the base environment. Right. So let's say that I am going to install different like Python packages, but I do not want to install it in my base environment. So rather I will install it in a different or a fresh Python environment. So let's create a Python environment or a Conda environment. So I will just type in this command, create, and this is the name of the environment. Let's call it test, and this should be a Python environment. So let's see if it works. Let's just give it some space. So yeah, it's just asking me, do I want to proceed with creating the environment? I'll say Y for yes, installing the necessary packages for this environment, and after that, yeah, it's all done. So from here, what we need to do is to activate the environment. I'll just type in conda activate test, because that was the name of the environment that we created. And here you can see that the base environment is not yet and not anymore selected, and it's just the test environment. You can see the list of environments by writing conda env list. It will show you the list of environments, and the star represents that which of the environment is actually selected right now. So what we will do is, like, if we run this file, it will run in base environment. As you can see, it opened up a different terminal here, but we do want to run it in our test environment. So what we will do is go here and try to refresh and try to find our test environment here. It's not showing at the moment, so if it doesn't show, what you can do is to restart the VS Code and have to find it there. Okay, so as you can see, there is there is our test environment. So I'll just select it and let's run it. So as you can see, it's like automatically changing the environment here, and it is running our main.py, and the answer is 4. So this is actually the actual proper way to install Python if you want to dive deep more into Python programming and seriously consider becoming a Python developer. You should always work with Conda environments, because different projects needs different packages and different versions of those packages, and you cannot mess everything up in a single environment. You'll get the hang of it once you start developing. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.